A new anime season is upon us, and you know what that means? It means I'm going to be slogging away recording episodes for the next 2 weeks, trying to watch as many episodes as I can, while not falling too far behind the anime which I like. But what anime will I like? Well, I don't know yet because I've not watched them. Well, I've got a few I'm interested in. Today I'm going to be looking at 4 new series. I'm going to be watching 2 Abandoned Sacred Beasts, Magical Senpai, Are You Lost, and Astra Lost in Space. And what do I think of them? Well, I've already recorded my views on them, so I know. But in order for you to know, you have to watch the rest of the episode. Because, as ever, this is a 2019 summer anime preview, from a different perspective. We're starting out the summer season with a trope which I think really should go away. Starting a brand new series with a huge long description over a world of a monologue, over a world of a war and a conflict and everything which goes on within it. If you have to spend 5 minutes explaining what's going on before the story even starts, then too much is going on before it even starts. I don't want to read a thesis before I start watching anime. But that's the way that To Be Abandoned Sacred Beast goes about doing things, as introduced to a war. And a violent war at that. You got this one bunch of people with a flag charging against this other bunch of people with a flag. Lots of people are dying in brutal ways. And it's war. It's not very nice. I mean, war isn't very nice anyway, but this is also not very nice at all. Just as it's looking bleak for the attacking force, suddenly on comes this platoon of anime characters. I'm not going to call them soldiers because they are basically just anime characters, wearing white cloaks and looking cool because they're anime characters. And once you know it, they start fighting, they transform into these mystical beasts. You got lizard men, you've got beast men, you've got sirens, you've got minotaurs, you've got centaurs. Basically, they enter the enemy fortress and absolutely destroy them. If these guys had been in a war to begin with, then there would have never been a war to begin with. It would have been over before they even started the fight. And so the episode goes forward, we see that, yeah, they pretty much win the war, single-handedly. But not always as it seems for these beastmen, or incarnates as they're called. You see, they are transforming, not just literally transforming to beasts while they fight. The more they transform, the more beastly they become, until eventually the inevitable happens. One of them just turns and attacks everyone. Allies, enemies. Yep, these beastmen are going berserk. And so as the war ends, yep, this is a 1-episode war here. We're told that, yep, the beastmen are going to be destroyed. The incarnates are no longer needed, and so they're going to be killed before they kill everybody else. And once you know it, the evil-looking main character turns out to be evil, and shoots the attractive-looking main character, who also turns out to want to kill the main character. I'm not really introduced you to them yet either. We're introduced to 3 major characters here. I mean, there's lots of other beasts which I'm sure will appear at some point later on in the series. But you got the main character, Hank. I can't take any main character called Hank seriously, after watching all of those King of the Hill memes recently. Well, hopefully he's got these Beastmen and Beastmen accessories to sell us during the series. Introduced to the pretty girl, the doctor who created the incarnates. No idea if she's an incarnate herself, but yeah. Introduced to Elaine, the object of Hank's affection, and dead by the end of the first episode. Shot by their childhood friend. They all were all orphans, obviously. But the evil-looking guy, Kane, shoots her, just as Elaine shoots Hank. But Hank somehow survives, and when Hank wakes up, 7 months have passed, the incarnates are going rogue, the war's over, and yeah, he hates Kane. He wants revenge on Kane. Now going into this, I saw the monologue at the start, I saw the whole bloody setup and the war, and I was ready to give up straight away. But I've been wrong before. Golden Camo springs to mind, being a rather violent first episode, leading to be a bloody good series. Not sure if this is going to be as good as Golden Camo. It'd be hard to be as good as Golden Camo, to be honest. But it looks promising. I'm going to give this one a few more episodes. I think you should give it a try as well. You can watch it over at Crunchyroll. Continuing one of the biggest trends of anime of recent years is a new anime, Magical Senpai. Now, Magical Senpai is a short anime, which is a trend, about 30 minutes long. It's not a series of anime shorts, it's just a half-length series. And what Magical Senpai is about is a magical girl. Well, a girl who does magic tricks, and her assistant, who is a main character. There's not too much more to say about it than that. They've not got names, it's Senpai and assistant, and I will be honest, they've not really got personalities either. They are basically a joke. You see, the assistant doesn't want to be in a magic club. He just walks in there one day and he's involved. The senpai can't do magic. Or she can, but she's got a terrible stage fright. And so she messes up her lines, she messes up a trick, and almost always ends up in some kind of lewd position. Quite often tied up with ropes, or tied upside down inside a box. Of course with her panties full on show. Or her breasts bouncing up and down as she runs around the place. Yet she's basically a one-trick pony. She's a no-trick pony. She runs around, doesn't do magic, fails, causes her assistant loads of problems, and that's the end of the segment. You see, despite this being a 30-minute episode, it's actually 4 3-minute episodes just stapled together with no real consistency or delicacy. It's here's a quick skit, and it's the same skit 4 times, just different flavours. What involves her getting tied up in ropes, what involves her getting shoved in a box upside down with panties showing, what ends up with a pigeon flying into a chest, and the other one ends up with her soaked in water. Yeah, this is very much a one-trick pony show. Now some shows can get away with being sexy. I mean, just look at last season's Guilty Pleasure, What the Hell Are You Doing, Teacher? That was the very definition of a guilty pleasure. But it got away with it because it was so blatantly in your face, not safe for work, but it got away with it. And it was bordering on hentai at times. Whereas this is just juvenile, it's tits. If you want to watch it, I just go watch Beavis and Butthead. If you do feel like watching Magical Senpai, and I don't really recommend it, you can find it airing over at Crunchyroll. On the other side of the half-length series coin, probably the same segment as it on TV, is Are You Lost? An anime about 4 girls stranded on a deserted island after a plane crash. I don't know about it being about a laid-back camp. This is more laid-back survival, as the 4 girls have to survive based on their wits and knowledge, with no help from anybody else. And I have to say, the first impressions aren't actually terrible. It doesn't try and rush the same gag repeatedly, like the last show. The 4 characters are interesting, they've got personalities, even though they are pretty much standard personalities for the most part. You got the cheery athletic girl, you got the shy intelligent girl, you got the rich spoiled girl, and then you got the survival expert. Yep, fans of Rize from Is the Order of Rabbit, rejoice. You got a cute, twin-tailed survivalist, who looks more like a character from Blendes than she does a character from Is the Order of Rabbit. And characters looking like other characters is another thing which is holding true to this series as well. I mean, the rich girl blatantly looks like Arena from Food Wars. And the shy girl, again, looks like Hisako from Food Wars. And of course, the main character looks a bit like a character from Blendes. I'm not quite sure what a sporty girl looks like yet. We'll find out. And so, it's basically a how to survive on a deserted island anime. Just with added Yuri elements. And I'm all for Yuri elements. I don't know, are you lost? You can find this one over at Crunchyroll. I'm beginning to feel there's some kind of chain connecting the 4 shows we've looked at today. Because the 4th show has a sort of connection to the last one. Whereas the last one was asking, are you lost? This one is most definitely lost because they are Astra, lost in space. Or Astra, lost in space! Not that they seem that lost to begin with, except for the sensibilities of our main character, who seems to have lost a marble somewhere down the line. As she does not only calls people by wrong names, she's absolutely ditz, she gets mugged on her first episode, and apparently she's not even a main character, because suddenly, Shonen Hero arrives on the scene to rescue the damsel in distress. Yeah. Spiky-haired guy with a bit of a scar on his face. He's got to be a main character, doesn't he? And so our main character, Kanata, gets taken away by the police. So, who's the main character? Is it Ares? Is it Kanata? I'm assuming it's Kanata because he appears in all the promo art. We're also introduced to a bunch of other new characters as well. Now, to be honest, whilst I'm not a fan of the whole let's introduce everybody with big signs above their head saying who they are, it does start with a huge monologue saying things like, in a land ravaged by war, school children are now sent to planets to do their education. But I don't do things like that. A bit refreshing really to actually just randomly get thrown into the middle of something happening. Even if it is sort of building up and telling you who people are, just very overtly. And so we got our 9 school kids. You got the main guy, the main girl, who's very, very headed. You got a stylish girl, you got a little sister. You got the shy girl, you got the emo guy. You've got the prince. You've got another few people here and there. To be honest, I didn't really make too much of an impression if I haven't mentioned them. And these people are all on a high school trip to do a planetary camp on the planet Mukpa. Yeah, Mukpa. This trip is sponsored by McDonald's, apparently. Or it would be if they weren't all swallowed up by a bizarre little wormhole which summons them up into space. Now, this is a changing point for the series. So far, the series has been a little bit meh, really. But after this point, it starts improving. Suddenly, it's no longer a fun school trip between people who don't know each other. It's I won't say battle, it's a fight to survive. Lost in the middle of space, trying to rescue each other to get them back themselves onto, I won't say terra firma, but I'll say a spaceship which is just hanging around the air. There's so many unanswered questions about this. Why was there a random singularity which summoned them to a bizarre distance, miles and miles and light years away? And why is there a ship there? There's stories to be told, as our 9 plucky heroes try and find their way home. And if they run into a random Talaxian called Neelix, I won't be at all surprised. Because Astra, lost in space, is less lost in space, a more anime Voyager, only with a Shonen guy as Captain Janeway. If you do want to watch this, you can find this one airing over at Funimation. We were off to a relatively slow start this season. That's okay by me, it's giving me a chance to watch some stuff. So what did you think of these episodes? I quite enjoyed most of them, except one. But I'm sure there's more great stuff to come. Well, I know there is. So join me when I look at them again. Well, thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.